Well, we're forecasting over 25% before the dust settles.
I believe you. Sure. And what happens early next year? I've been 60 million or 25 million, or I get these numbers. There are millions and millions and millions and millions of ARMs coming due for their adjustment early next year. Mortgages. Millions. And it is said that virtually every one of them will turn their property values, well, they're already upside down, but they will officially go upside down.
That's right, over half.
Yeah.
Over half the homes in the United States will be worth less than what they're paying on their mortgages.
Over half the homes in these formerly United States worth less than the mortgage encumbrance. Amazing.
Now, there's another one also, and it's the commercial real estate collapse. And that's only being propped up again by the Fed in the sense that they have this, I love the acronyms they use, TALF, T-A-L-F. Termed Asset-Backed Loan Facility. So your termed asset is a worthless office building or a ghost mall.
A ghost mall. Now, that's a good one. I like that.
And what we're seeing, ghost malls are actually popping up all over the country.
Well, just in time for Halloween.
Exactly. And the Federal Reserve, can you imagine? Of course you can imagine. I mean, who would have imagined what's happened? They're bailing out commercial real estate developers with their TALF program, and they're going to keep that window open for several more months. Now, this is very important, and as you well know, it barely made the news. Ladies and gentlemen, now hear this. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation is, for all intents and purposes, bankrupt.
Yep.
And these are the people that are guaranteeing $250 million, $250,000, excuse me, of your money, if you have that kind of money, in the bank.
Yep.
They are asking banks to now loan them money so that they can cover their losses. And we've seen, 100 banks already fail, and we have a lot more coming.
Yeah. It's going to be raining dead banks. I like that term, ghost mall. That's a good one. I like that. Okay. How much more absurd and ridiculous can it get before it actually does crumble? We've got a crash dead ahead, as you've said. It's coming. How long can they keep faking it? How much Visine can they keep putting in these bloodshot eyes and propping the person up somehow with wires and making him appear to be animated? This is a cadaver walking, folks.
They'll keep it going as long as they can continue to prop up the equity markets worldwide. That's how long it takes. When the equity markets collapse, that's when reality hits. And the equity market collapse is right around the corner. But it's going to be, there's a lot of glee going around the world, for example, about the battered dollar and how the Arab nations and the BRIC nations, Brazil, India, Russia, and China, are talking about, number one, not taking dollars for oil anymore, not basing it on petrodollars, and establishing an alternate currency and or doing business in their own currencies. The world should not be happy about this because something much bigger is happening. The United States of America, the empire, is collapsing. And when you go back to collapses of great empires, and no empire in recent history, not even the English Empire, had so much clout in terms of global trade as does the United States. When this empire falls, it's going to be like a fall of the Roman Empire in that the sense that a dark age followed. The reverberations are going to be felt worldwide. All of these countries, China, Indonesia, Singapore, Vietnam, all these countries that ramped up production in anticipation of continued global growth are going to be in for a big shock. So this isn't going to be pleasant. And I say this because what happens with this country and others, we're going to see, and what we fear the most, is that when all else fails, you asked how they're going to prop it up, what they do is they take you to war. And so as world economies decline, world wars loom in the future.
Absolutely right. You're sick, depressed, run down, need a fix, start a war. That's the way it's almost always worked. Everybody profits in war except for those who die and have their homes, cities, and countries ravaged. The winners, they win. At least some of them do. All right, back in just a minute with Gerald Celente as we continue our update. And do click on his name. It's an extraordinary service he offers. He is a man who is consulted by all of the big boys to get his views on what they ought to know, but they just can't face the truth, nor can they do the research. Be right back.